Hello, hello, my friends. All right, hold on a second. Let people jump on. I am still trying to figure out how to go live on Instagram, but I'm learning. Let's see if I can make it work today. All right. Okay, friends, hang tight. Let's let you get on. We are on day 3 of tricks and treats for the month. I'm Jody Harvala, psychic medium, spiritual teacher. I am on every day during the week this month, sharing different tools and techniques and tricks and different things around spirit. And weekends, it'll depend where I'm at. Like this weekend, we're going to the farm. So I'm going to try to get you some great videos of the changing leaves, because where our camper and stuff is, the leaves are just gorgeous. There you go. Hello, hello, everyone. Now I'm seeing you jump on. All right. There we go. Okay, so how many of you, I know people are just jumping on here, but how many of you, how do I want to ask this? How many of you have been witness to a miracle in your life? How many of you have been witness to a miracle in your life? Let me know in the comments. Or if you're watching replay, let me know in the comments. Yeah, the leaves are beautiful right now, Linda. They're just starting to get to that peak color change in town. So they should be all, I don't think we're gonna have as much color as we did last year because we had such a dry winter, but I will take some pictures and some videos. All right, we're getting some yeses. Absolutely, I have. Yes. Yeah, I think I love to talk about the energy of miracles because my definition of miracles really has shifted over the years. So when I was young, miracles were only, people on their deathbeds, and then all of a sudden they get better and they come back to life and they live. That was kind of my definition when I was young of what a miracle was. And doing this work, almost daily, I will witness or be part of some kind of miracle, because my definition and my openness to what miracles are has greatly changed over the years. And I think I call miracles a lot. I say it's the magic in the world. But I think a lot of people forget that a sunrise is a miracle. A sunset is a miracle. The leaves changing and dropping and then coming back in the spring. Nature is a miracle. Like, I've really gone into nature I've been so drawn to go into nature more the last couple of years, and hiking and all that kind of stuff. And I think it was because Spirit really wanted me to be reminded how much that miracle energy is around me every day on my daily life. I don't have to go on vacation to see it. I can look out in my yard, and I can see I have big trees in my neighborhood. I don't know how people can live without trees. I just don't know how you can do that. So that's a miracle to me, is our big ass huge trees that are so beautiful no matter what season it is. And to go, like, I went up to Glacier, and I went to the Tetons. Oh my God, it was so beautiful. Like the waterfalls and, the hiking and just everything out of the world in our daily world is such a miracle. We got to swim in the ocean, And we got to bring some women out in the ocean that hadn't really swam in the ocean, or they hadn't gone very far in the ocean. And we had such a beautiful day the day before we came home from the Camino, and we were jumping waves and everything. A miracle. Like it was a miracle watching their vibration shift from kind of being afraid because, you know, we can't always see the bottom in the ocean and there's stuff in the ocean, but to having joy and fun because they were playing in the ocean. I think that was so fun, or seeing people and when they're outside. I did a retreat one year, and the place I picked was honestly a little bit like Deliverance Country. I booked it sight unseen, and it's still one of my favorite retreats I ever did. It ended up being at this church camp in near Duluth, and I drove up and I was like, "What have I done?" Like, oh my God. And I was trying to think of a way, like, how am I going to get hotels for these women? They're never going to stay here. Like, what have I done? But the owner was so great. Like, when I was having a conversation with her, and my spirit was just like, book it, book it, book it. So I booked it. And one of the things I did different that year was I took people out in the woods, and they had hiking trails and stuff, not like just like some random woods, but they had some hiking trails and waterfalls and different things nearby. And watching the experiences these women had out in the woods versus just having them stay indoors the whole time, because it started to snow and it was beautiful. It was like someone shook up a snow globe, and we were hauling wood because the furnace broke, and the girls were teeping each other's bunks. There were bunk beds. We saw deer out there. When they were out in the woods, one of the women had this amazing experience connecting with her husband that had passed, and she had some big healing around that piece. Another girl was just acting like a little kid. She was having the best time outside. And she had said, you know, as soon as it gets cold, I don't leave my house. And that winter, she started walking outside every day. And so those kinds of things, nature can really bring that energy out. And I think there's all sorts of different miracles. It's not just nature. I think nature's an easy one. I think that the sun comes up every day is a miracle. I think that sometimes people getting out of bed in the morning, if they've been struggling, is a miracle. I think people doing things by themselves sometimes is a miracle. I think I had some new people sign up for Spirit School, and one of them, I know it's a miracle for her, and I know it is, and because she's so inside and needed something more. And we've talked about it, you know, a lot of different times. And so to join something that gives her a place to be, huge piece for her. That's a miracle. So I think, yep, Jolene, it was, yep, first retreat. And it was a miracle to watch. So I think that miracles come in many different ways. So Donna said, I love this too. Donna said, after our last masterclass, when our topic was celebrating ourselves, I was on my way to the beach, full moon on the ocean, fires on the beach the next day, witnessing whales breaching, miracles in nature. Right. I think sometimes people catching videos like this, and maybe I say some little thing that changes their perspective. That's a miracle. There was a girl on the Camino in our group, and she was so fun to watch. She was having such a great time, and she was talking about something, and apparently, I don't remember even saying this, I made some comment that, you know, she moves so fast in life, she must be somehow I said she must be running from something. And I don't remember saying it. And she said later on that became such a powerful statement because it helped her understand something that she was trying to work through, but she had been kind of running from it. That's a miracle. Sometimes they fall out of your face and you don't even know it. And we saw a lot of that on the Camino with different conversations that people had, because we channel a lot of information that just comes out of us that we don't really remember that we say. I think that's a miracle. And so today I wanted to talk about miracles because I want to remind you that they happen every day, and to watch for them and to be open to them and to understand that they happen. Lots of people around me and in my life, the last 5 years have crossed over. They've died. And to me, getting signs from loved ones that have died, fucking miracle all the way. And I always think it's sad when people don't believe in it, and you don't have to believe in it. That's 1,000% your choice. I choose to believe in it because I just know for me it's true. And so to see a sign from a loved one after they've passed, to me, those are the miracles I love to watch all the time. And I play with that with the loved ones that have crossed over. I play with it a lot. I was in Sedona last year, and I usually feel my dad really strong when I'm in Sedona. And I was like, what the hell? Where is my dad? Like, where are you, Dad? Like, what's going on? And I was buying some new hiking shoes. I bought a lot of hiking shoes this last year, trying to find ones that I like. And I just happened to be in this great little hiking store. They were super helpful. I love going to that store. They always have great trails and blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden I turn, and one of the things that I got from my dad immediately when he passed away was good vibes only. And so all of a sudden I looked, and there's a sticker and it said good vibes only with a little Arizona thing on there. And I'm like, oh, there you are. Okay. I know you're here. So I had to buy the sticker, put it on my car. But I really feel like those are miracles. Using your intuition and having a feeling about something and making a choice based on your intuition, not on what everyone else says. What works for you? What is your intuition? I think that's a miracle. I just do. That to me has shifted my life in so many different ways. I've gotten so many signs where it's like, don't do that, go this way. And I go this way, and all this amazing opportunity opens up. Or when you don't listen to your intuition and you learn something really, really like, oh, that really sucked. Miracle. That's still a miracle, because at least you learned something and you probably won't do it again. Okay. Perfect timing. Tomorrow, Nam meets the surgeon. Yep. Today's Dad's birthday. It was not interesting talking about my dad. So he's saying hi to you. Okay. Just making sure there's no questions. So I wanted to open up around the energy of miracles. When I first started all this work, one of the first things I did was this Course in Miracles book. And I talked about it, I think, the other day. And what I think is really super awesome about it is it really got me into watching for miracles. Like, I look for them. I'm aware of them. I'm present to them. I am on the lookout for them. And that book club, I didn't love the book, but I love the miracle side of it. That's what it taught me, to look for miracles. And so every day, look for miracles and see what happens. And it might not be a miracle for you, but you might get to be witness to a miracle. You know how cool that is? Like, that's the most amazing feeling, to be witness to somebody else in a miracle. That's a miracle. That spirit, whatever you want to call it. I think miracle and spirit kind of goes together. But I want you guys to actually look for them. And if something happens, share it on your Facebook wall, tag me in it, whatever. I think it's very, very important to stay open to that kind of energy. Yeah, exactly. Michelle, she says, surprise and delight me. I ask for that every day. You know what, Spirit? Surprise and delight me. You know what, Spirit? Show me that you're around today. Like my spirit team, I'm like, you know what? Just show me that you're around. I just need to know you're around. I don't ask for specifics. I don't ask for some big sign. I just said, show me that you're around. And the day that it was either the day before or the day of, I posted it. I was like, all right, Spirit, just give me a sign I'm on the right track. And my mileage was like all 4s, and the temperature was 6s. Those are all angel numbers to me. And so they surprise and delight me all the time. You know, the Camino was every day was a complete surprise and delight me. Most of my trips, when I go on vacation, surprise and delight me. At the lake, I always say surprise and delight me. At the farm, surprise and delight me. Because I like surprises in that way. I like spiritual surprises. I think it's delightful. I think it's super fun. And I think looking for small miracles and big miracles are a big thing, and asking for them. Hey, you know what, Spirit? This situation is awful. Like, I need some kind of miracle around this, even if you don't know what it is. Sometimes the miracle is for the person's highest good. That can be hard to swallow when like there's times where people pray for people to live, and then there's a time that you start praying for them to go, because they're in so much pain, or they're disease ridden, or you just know it's better for them to go. That shift of perception can be a miracle. But I think asking for miracles in the hard moments is also important, because sometimes the miracle is that you're present to the hard moment, or that you're learning something in that moment, or that maybe life's a shit show, but wow, I'm handling it better than I have in the past, or wow, I'm being responsive instead of reactive. Boy, that's kind of a miracle for me. Or maybe you learned something that is going to help someone else down the road. You know, Eli and I went through some really rough fucking things in life several years ago. And I was like, what the hell is all this about? Like, I always want to know what it was about. Then I met some people and I was like, I can share some stories that might help you. And they've been super helpful for other people. That's the miracle. So I want you to be open to miracles through the whole month. You know, October has so much energy and so much moon energy and eclipses and sun flares and witchiness and magic and like all the Halloween stuff. Like, it's such a fun month for creating miracles. And maybe you can create miracles for somebody else. Like, there's been times where I'll get a fun idea to go do something for somebody, and then I'll follow through and do it. And they're like, oh my God, like, you don't understand how much I need this. Like, I needed this. And I'm like, oh, I just kind of thought it was fun to, you know, gift you a bowl of soup or bring this to you, or, you know, check in with you. Because you never know when someone else needs a miracle. Okay. Does that make sense to everyone? Hello, Miss Myrna. Surprise and delight me. Yes, yes, yes. Seeing angel numbers like crazy. If you guys are seeing your angel numbers, and we'll talk about that, and you're getting the signs, and you're seeing feathers, and you're doing all that kind of stuff, like, pay attention. They are trying to get your attention to say, hello, we are here. We are here to support you. We are here to help you. And I think people forget in daily life that spirit's always around. I talk to my spirit team all day long, because I either need help with something, I want some support with something, I want to have some fun with something, I want to, you know, show up in my best self. Maybe, you know, I've been really tired since I got back and kind of got sick and I'm losing my voice. I'm like, all right, spirit, you know what? Just give me a little boost for the next hour, and then I can rest a little bit. Like, I talk to my spirit team like that a lot, because I think that energy of miracles is woven into our whole day if we let it be. You just got to let it be. And it doesn't mean that shit doesn't happen. Like, bad things happen and things happen. So I'm not saying it's a unicorn and rainbows life. I'm saying that sometimes those miracles help you get through those tough parts. Or they help you find the people to help you get through. Like, one of my favorite stories is when my dad was really sick, and he's passed now, but when he was really sick, like, we needed to get him into a nursing home, and we needed, I think it was Medicare. And I didn't freaking understand it. It's so difficult to understand. And so I just set an intention. Number one, around helpful people are always around me. So that's something I learned from Sunny. And the second thing was that, you know what? I need a Medicare expert. And I just kept affirming it. Like, I have an expert coming to me. I need an expert. Bring them in. And I had cleared a house for somebody in person. And after it, I got my car, and spirit's like, hey, you should go buy a new bra. Like, that was the message from my spirit. And I was like, no, I don't need a new bra. And they're like, no, you should go get one. Go to that little store that you like. And so I was like, it said it a few times. I'm like, okay. So I go to the store, didn't want to get a new bra. Hate shopping for bras. And walked in, and the lady was feeling me up. I'm all naked, showing her my boobs, all the good stuff when you get fitted for a bra. And somehow we started talking about my dad. And I was like, yeah, I really need someone that's an expert in Medicare, because I have all this stupid paperwork. I don't understand it. We don't know what to do. And she's like, well, I worked for Medicare for 9 years. What do you need? What's your dad's name? And I told her his name, and she was like, yeah, I handled the H's. So maybe I've run across this name, like, bring the paperwork in and let me help you with it. I was like, what? Like, what? And she goes, yeah, I'm an expert. Bring it in. I had asked. I got out of my own way. I affirmed, and there she showed up. And that kept showing up in that experience. I had more helpful people show up for me than I've ever felt in my life because I never let them in because I was going to do it myself. Does not work for me. I need people, and I really enjoy helpful people, and I attract helpful people. And so all along the Camino, all along my business life, all along life, I always end up having helpful people come in. And that's a miracle to me. And it's helpful. I really like helpful people. And I like to be a helpful person for people. So I really feel like bringing attention to the energy of miracles, and how to intend them and how to work with them, I think that is a big deal for people. Some of you I know, Alyssa, like she's recovering from surgery. So one of her miracles would be, you know what, I'm going to focus on my happy, healing, and whole. Like that's where my focus is going to be. That might help your healing, hun. Because she had big surgery. She's got some time before she's going to be up and about. But I also think that happy, healing, and holing, that's happy, healing, and whole. That's a great miracle. So pick your miracle and focus on it. And sometimes miracles need to happen after a long time. Like me going on the Camino, super miracle, man. When I heard about it was like 15 or 20 years ago, something like that. Probably 15 years ago, 16 years ago when I first heard about it. Took me 16 years to align with it so that the timing made sense and the money made sense and the being gone from home for 3 weeks made sense and the walking made sense and the group made sense. Like sometimes those miracles take some time to actually align. So you also have to have a little patience with it too. Sometimes people need to reject the help though. Sometimes that's the miracle is it's like, all right, then you try it yourself for a while. See how that goes. And what often happens is they're brought to their knees a little bit and then they finally surrender to needing the help. It's really hard to watch. It's really hard to be on the outside of that. But I've had that even with Eli. He was going through some stuff and I had to step back and not try to save him because I was a saver and I needed to let him do what he needed to do. And then he decided for himself to get support or to get help or whatever he needed at the moment. And that was more powerful than me trying to keep safe. When you save people, you guys, so here's someone and you come in and you swoop them up and save them. Now they have to go harder and fall deeper. And now you save them again. Now they got to fall even deeper. That's what I learned. So if people don't ask, I don't offer, which sounds cold unless you're an oversaver. I try to always save and control things. And so me swooping in and saving different people along the way wasn't helpful. It actually made it worse. So I was the problem and I really thought I was the savior. I was the hero because that really was helpful to me, not to them. So when I stepped back, other people miraculously stepped up, including the person that tended to be the victim or the person that's refusing help or the person that needs to do it themselves. I was a do it myself too. And it really sucked because I didn't know how to do it. And I would spend hours frustrated. And I'm like, I could just ask for help. I had a whole summer, an entire summer where my website got hacked and I could not figure out how to fix it. Trying to find help to fix it was making it worse. Like it was terrible. And finally in like August around my birthday or something, I reached out to my friend Chris, she's great with technology. And she's like, I don't know why you had to wait all summer to ask me. I was here all summer. I would have helped you, but you never asked. And I was like, wow, that sucks that I did that to myself. And it was hilarious because now I'll ask her lots of tech questions. Probably drives her crazy. But it was such a lesson because I went 3 months without a website at a time in my business that I really should have my website up. So rejecting help was just a punishment to me. It's just a punishment. And then people will say, well, the people that I ask don't help. Well, ask different people. Sometimes you got to hire help. Sometimes it's not your family. Sometimes it's not your friends. I don't try to ask family and friends. I just hire somebody. Like even my son, he hates coming over because Eli always makes him work. I'm like, dude, you got to stop doing that or he's never going to come see me. I was like, we can do this ourselves or we can hire someone to do it. So a lot of times I think we have expectations that our family and friends should kind of show up to help us. I do not have that expectation anymore. I go find other help or I save up my little pennies and I hire help. So think about that because sometimes it's the people you're asking, they're not willing. So you need to go find other people that are actually willing. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. See, you guys are all, yep. Marissa said, I'm a saver, but I'm trying to back off. And you got to, because then they get to grow and expand. Sometimes we're in the way of the growth and you're stealing that experience of growing and expanding when you try to save people. Chris said, I'm a rejecter of help, but I have been asking and it's getting better. So I would change that to I'm learning to ask for help. I would never say I'm a rejecter anymore, Chris, because I think you are getting better at asking for help. Yep, you can definitely find a rent-a-husband. Your kids are not your staff, guys. They're not your employees. They don't want to do that stuff. At least in my experience, my kids don't want to do it. And I want to spend time with them if they want to spend time with me, but I don't expect them to do chores. I will find other people to help me with that if I need it. That's in my life. See, and Alyssa, that, you know, she's had some stuff going on with back surgery and stuff. She says, I feel like I've over asked for help this year, but I still need help. We all need help. We need each other. And so find the people that are willing and let them know, like, hey, I would love this to be an equal energy exchange. Is there anything I can do for you? A lot of times you'll just hear like, no, could you just take the help? Because I know you're helpful. You've offered your help to me several times. So sometimes you have to just get over yourself and ask for the help. That's a great conversation, Pam. She said, I reject help too until I'm in too deep. And it makes it so much worse because then there's more crap to clean up. And oftentimes there's more people involved to have to help. So one time Sunny told me, this was such a great, I was like, oh, you just feel so dumb sometimes when you learn some of this stuff, but things were going so good in life. And I was riding high and everything was going good. And she's like, well, what do you need help with? And I was like, I don't need help with anything. Everything's going good. And she's like, you should stop for a second and think about that. She goes, when life is going good and the vibration is flowing and your momentum's flowing and things are going really well, she goes, that's when you should ask for more help. And I'm like, what? She goes, I was like, I would never think to ask for help when life is good. And she goes, I know, that's the problem. She goes, you wait until you're so deep into it and you've refused help and you're in such trouble that now it becomes a crisis. She goes, what if you ask for help on different things that you know maybe at certain times are a little bit more challenging when you're not in such a good space? Why don't you get some help now? And I was like, never considered asking for help when things are good in life. Never thought about it. And now when I'm in a good spot, I look for a lot of support. Like what's coming up, what season's coming up, what needs to happen, where might I get stuck down the road? Like I'm in such a good vibration to attract another high vibration person to be on my team of support when I get there. Does that make sense? Oh, and they won't do it the way I want. It's because you're a control freak. You should try letting that go and see what happens from a recovering control freak. They're not going to do it the way you do it. They're not. So let them do most of it. And then if you need to go do some finish work, let yourself. But they're not going to. But nobody does anything the way you're going to do it. And you can keep doing it that way. That takes a lot of time, effort, and energy and resentment. Or you could let some people help you. Yeah, that's a big one too, Shondell. She said, that's really hard for me because I struggle with feeling obligated to whoever helps me. So be clear in the beginning. So if I'm going to offer somebody some help, I'm doing it because I'm guided to, not because I want them to feel obligated to me. So I'll tell them, hey, you know what? I'm really guided to help you with this. I don't feel like you owe me anything on this, just so we're clear. I just want to do this for you because I'm guided to do it. Like I say that to people because I know the obligation piece, because I have felt that for a long time when people help me. And I have to just trust that the people that I'm bringing to me, if I feel that obligation energy, I'll even say it to them. But I really feel obligated to do something for you. Can I help you with anything? Usually it irritates them because they're just trying to be of service. But I'll say it if I need to have the conversation. So I'll actually communicate it out, because just like giving gifts, such a pet peeve of mine. Don't give me a gift if you want a thank you note. I'd rather give you a hug and a personal thank you when I see you. I'm not going to sit down and write thank you notes. I get it. It's proper. It's kind. La, la, la. Don't give me a gift then, because that's an obligation that you have that I don't want to play with. I don't do things out of obligation. If I feel obligated or guilted into it, no, thank you. I'm not interested. If I feel guided and I have the time, energy, and space to do it, sure. That is not a problem for me. So start to think about things in a little bit different perception, because a lot of what we learned is because we've learned it. That's where our parents did it, or our brothers and sisters, or our grandparents, or our friends and family. I just think differently because it feels better to me. Yep. Zaina said, I'm trying to accept that it's all about the end result, not the path. The path I think you should take. So one of the biggest takeaways most of us learned on the Camino, it was about the journey in life. It had nothing to do with the end square where we ended up. Like I didn't even think about that the entire week. Like the big thing is to end at the cathedral. And like to me in my head, I was like, oh, that's just the end point. Never thought anything about it because I really wanted my journey to be so magical. So it's all about our journey and how can I make this more fun and more joyous and have better people or better fitting people for me? How can I see magic and miracles? Like all of that kind of stuff. That's the journey I want to have. And not everyone in my life wants that. So then they don't have to. But the people I surround myself with do. And we do a lot of equal energy exchange for each other. Yeah, there's a lot of people that get twisted up about thank yous. I trigger a lot of people with that belief, actually. Yeah, Christmas cards, gave them up years ago. Years ago. Would I love family pictures of my kids and my husband? Yes. Are they happy to do it, and can we do it without fighting? No, not unless we're on a ski trip or something. So some years I do them and some years I don't. I gave that up years ago. I love getting them though. I love getting them. And I've been taken off many Christmas card lists because I don't send them back, which I understand that too. But I love getting them. Yep. Yeah, I've just shifted a lot. So miracles can come in many, many, many different ways, my friends. You know what, Carla, in the cathedral, my purse spilled out at the end of on the day after we finished the Camino. I was in the cathedral, and one of the things I had always wanted to see was the incense thing, and it's huge, and they swing it over the crowd, and it's like a blessing and a clearing for the pilgrims. And it was an absolute miracle because I came in the cathedral. It's a very long story, so I'll make it shorter. But I came in the cathedral. I was very antsy and I kept moving to different parts of the cathedral. And it's in a cross. And somehow I made it over to the other side to the left. And I actually was thinking about leaving because they were going to do, what's it called? Communion. And it was going to take a while, and I wasn't feeling well that day. And I had seen my fill of the church. It was gorgeous. And, and all of a sudden my whole purse just flipped, and everything fell out. And this is the purse I carried the whole trip and never opened up. Nothing like that ever happened. My can of Coke rolled across the cement loud floor. My cards spilled. I had 30 postcards. I had my wallet and euros, and everything spilled out of my purse. And this guy, this poor guy, he just looked at me like, what the hell, lady? And we picked it all up and got it stuffed in my purse. And he stood up and started singing like an angel. And I was like, what the hell? Okay, apparently I needed to hear him sing. And then my spirit told me to go stand in a certain place. And I went and stood by this very proper guy. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, they're going to do the thing. Like the guys are lining up to do the thing. And then you have these 5 guys that grab these ropes and then they light the incense thing. And it's like bigger than a door. And I was like, holy shit, they're going to do the thing. And if that little miracle of my purse dumping out wouldn't have happened, I would have missed it. And so sometimes that shit happens because it's trying to give you a bigger miracle. And it absolutely was a miracle that I got to see that day, because I'd wanted to see it literally for, 15, 16 years. And it so completed my Camino for me. Like it was so special, and it was so magical, and it was such a miracle that everything that day lined up perfectly for me to spill my purse so that I could see it. So I love the energy of miracles, and I like to look at how the little pieces came together. Like that morning we were supposed to be in a tour bus. I didn't feel good. I was getting the upper respiratory stuff. I didn't feel good. I knew I just needed a day. And so I let the group know I was going to stay back. I did laundry for me and my girlfriend that were there. And it just felt so good just to do something kind of normal for a minute. And the nuns were doing their chores and I was doing my chores, and it felt so peaceful. I'm like, oh, this is so nice. And my legs were feeling better. My feet were feeling better. And I just was feeling, better. And then my spirit's like, let's go. And I knew to follow. So I got my shoes on and hiked up to the cathedral, and that whole experience happened. Magic and miracles. So I really wanted to bring that energy back in and remind people that you got to ask for it and you got to look for it. Okay. We talk about it a lot in Spirit School. We talk about it a lot in all my classes, looking for signs, looking for miracles. So that's the name of the game today, my friends. Okay. And if you need some support, you want to learn more about that kind of energy, you want to learn more about how to see signs and develop your intuition, remember, Spirit School's open. Doors are open. We've already had signups and new people coming in, which I love. And so we have lots of different classes. Our next class in Spirit School is next week. We have an intuition class. So it'll be super, super fun. And of course, I will be back again tomorrow. I'm coming on at 10 a.m. Okay, so the time is different tomorrow morning. I got to go close up my camper. So tomorrow morning I'll be on at 10, and then I'll be back at noon on Monday for the scheduled ones. And like I said, I'll go out in the woods and get you guys some leaf pictures and some videos this weekend, because I know they're going to be beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. All right, my friends. Yeah, the cathedral thing was a miracle. That was such an aligned miracle that I got to be part of. Like, imagine all the different pieces through the week that had to line up for me to be there at that time, for Spirit to spill my purse, to get me to stay, to see what I've always wanted to see. Like, imagine that. Like, that's a lot of work. So put some energy into that this week and this weekend. Go for a walk and look for miracles. See what happens. Ask Spirit to surprise and delight you and see what happens. Okay. All right, guys, I got to go. I'm losing my voice a little bit and I want to save it for tomorrow. So I will see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. Okay. Good. I'm glad that lifted you. That's what this is for. That's the miracle of these. All right. Bye, guys. Have a good day.